$10,000 a month.
All right. I've been doing this job for a minute, and in that time, I've received email requests asking me to investigate specific people. I can't always get to them because the deep dives episodes require deep research. So this Scammer or Null series exists so that I can address the easier requests kind of as a batch at times. I guess this is the pilot episode because there's only 2. And simultaneously show y'all love for supporting me for so long. Not every person I investigate is a scammer. Y'all don't watch positive episodes as much as you watch the negative ones, but I'm gonna try to work in positivity into each episode of Scammer or Nah. This time we got a tech career coach claiming to help people break into cybersecurity careers, and we got a Gen Xer social group claiming to help them quit their jobs and pay off debt. Y'all got until the end of this ad read to determine which of those is a scammer or not. And go. Shout out to Monarch for the sponsorship. Y'all, plus my Patreon supporters and viewers, make this work possible. This is just one sliver of what Monarch can do. Y'all ever had one of those months where it seems like you have to spend at least double digits on something unplanned every day of the month with some triple digits sprinkled in there? This graph lets me track those expenditures really precisely. If there's anything on that graph that throws me off, as in I don't remember spending that much money, or I wonder where the hell all this credit card debt came from, I can scroll down. I'm showing y'all the number because I want the gravity of the situation to hit you. This is child's play. I've had much more debt than this before, but I don't like seeing commas there. Here's how Monarch saved me time. Instead of having to log into American Express, I double checked how recent this update was. So now I know that I need to suck it up and knock out that debt. I've been bad with credit in the past, so features like this give me peace of mind. If you want that same peace of mind, try Monarch with my code CamJames50 or scan the QR code on screen to get 50% off your first year. envySocial is a scam. My entire analysis is going to sound really aggressive, but my whole point is that you don't need to join these groups or really investigate them super deep to determine whether they're scams or not. I go deep because that's what I do, but y'all gonna be able to see the hint or the red flag that tipped me off immediately. I'm gonna skate past this terrible site design, which y'all shouldn't, and point out that mindset in all caps is the first thing we see. I can't stress this enough. That shit is always a scam. Multi-level marketing companies and Ponzi schemes always use mindset mastery terminology to bully you into blaming yourself for your losses. Next, we see finale. Failure is not an option. Goddamn losers, bro. First line is, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. The religious manipulation is front and center. They're not even trying to hide it. Quote, Jesus said we are to love our neighbor as ourselves. So when we give of ourselves to help others, we are fulfilling that command of the Bible. Let's be the social group that changes traditions, end quote. This is gross, and it's here to reinforce that this giving circle, social revenue model-ass pyramid scheme or Ponzi scheme, whatever one it ends up being, isn't a scam, it's giving back. You're not trying to cash out. You're helping others like Jesus did. This next part is the most egregious though. Quote, let's all thank Clayton for having the courage to change his mind and to care about others enough to push them to do the same, end quote. He has effectively made himself the Messiah in this paragraph, and that is very intentional. Clayton Sampson is the leader and founder of this social group, and here's the first video on their site that introduces you to the scheme.
Let's say hypothetically, I have a briefcase, and in my briefcase, I have $1 million cash. And I offer it to you, but you have to do one thing. You have to jump out of an airplane without a parachute. Would you do it? Now, I've asked that question thousands and thousands of times. I usually get the same answer. No, I'm not going to do it.
My initial answer was no when he posed the scenario of jumping out of a plane with no parachute, but then he got me with the okie doke.
Well, here's the reality of the situation. I never said the airplane was in the air.
And see, he messed up here too. Not only would I not jump out of a plane that's in the air, I also wouldn't do it on the ground. I Googled the distance from a average commercial airplane door to the ground. And even if I'm being generous, that's gonna break my ankles, fam. Maybe some of y'all would still do it for $1 million, but I'm not that desperate. But nah, I kid. In all seriousness, it's a good hook that gets people thinking and listening.
So it comes down to people paying attention, asking questions, and being logical about things. So I hope today you do that. I hope today you give me an opportunity to just hear out this video and listen to what envySocial is all about and hopefully change your life. The number one thing that we teach in envySocial is for you to be able to live life on your own terms. We're going to give you a set of 10 different things that we do.
Red flag. The moment someone tells you their Facebook social group does 10 things well at that, you should walk away. This is not the Cheesecake Factory. A big ass menu does not guarantee that something on it's going to taste good.
And hopefully, should you follow them, should you want to ask the right questions, get the right information, you'll be able to live life on your own terms. Now, living life on my terms may be different to be living life on your terms. Everyone has a different idea of what living life on their own terms are. Now, I know many people have jobs. I'm no longer employed. Many of our team members are no longer employed. I think job is a great thing to have. Jobs are great things to have. I've had one in the past.
I'm gonna cut you off right there, fam. You see what he's doing, right? He's basically saying that not only has he been able to retire himself, but the rest of his teammates have as well. And who is he saying this to? Gen Xers and young baby boomers who also want to quit their jobs. Trying to be relatable by claiming that 9-to-5s aren't that bad. It's really just making sure that y'all keep watching.
1% of the population runs the world, in my opinion. 4% are not sure what's really going on. They're kind of controlled by the 1%. 90% of the people are totally asleep. They don't know what's going on. I was one of those 90%. And then there's 5%, like envySocial, that's trying to help the 90% understand what's going on. But the 1% pays the 4% to control the 90%.
We're not like these other companies. We're here to wake you up to the truth.
I wanted to read a couple, or actually ask you to take a look at a few scriptures that's very important to our ministry and how we teach people and what we show.
Nope, absolutely not.
So it's time to give back. God has given us the ability to teach and help people get to the next level in life. But again, the information I'm going to share with you and the information in our group isn't taught in schools. It isn't taught in the communities. It's definitely not on social media. It's not on, you don't find things like this. And if you do find some people that may talk about some of the things that we do, they charge a very large sum of money for that information. Well, what do we charge for that in envySocial? There's no charge for this information.
All right, I'm gonna press pause on my sarcasm for a second and hear him out. Until we hear the source of the revenue, we can't pinpoint where the heart of the scheme is at.
We give you this information, you get to do with it as you choose, and there's no fee that you have to pay. Now, there is a cost, but there's no fee. Let me talk about the cost. The cost is, should you follow our systems, should you get involved in all the things that we do, and you have the massive success we believe you can have, we ask you to do something simple. 1/3 of whatever you give, that you are able to generate from our teachings, we ask you to give back to your community. You can give back to it in any format that you want to. Our members normally give back to it in something called a GOLA, which is gift one, lift one. So we take a pocket full of $100 bills, we take it out of our bank account because we've earned some great financial rewards by learning the things that we have taught. We teach in envySocial, and you walk around to your community and you pass out $100 bills. You don't have to tell them your name. You don't have to tell them the organization. You just bless people everywhere you go.
Sounds like a dangerous lie, if I'm being honest with you. Walking around with $100 bills in your pocket and giving them out to the less fortunate sounds great in theory. But in reality, you will be chased, just not by who you thought you would. There are more efficient and effective ways to do community service if you really wanted to do that. I just don't believe you, fam. You need more people. Let's cut to the chase. In video number 2, he jumps into their Facebook group and shows me more information than he should have. If we start reading the first couple of paragraphs on the most Facebooky ass post that has ever existed on Facebook.
Click on see more. Don't be overwhelmed. A lot of information here. It's going to take you a few hours to go through this post.
Caps and emojis included. He calls out a couple of companies that give us concrete evidence that this is a grift. It's a Forex trading group. At least that's one thing they do. This is Everything Trading, a standard trading signals company claiming to give clients an edge in the market, led by a white guy and some dude named Amar who's been active in the market for a whole 9 years. They also have this MLM-based software members pay for called United Financial Freedom that helps you budget and pay off large debts in an unnecessarily complicated way. The software has multiple one-star reviews claiming users were scammed and signed up as agents, meaning they were part of the direct sales part of the company, only to not be able to get refunds later. This company response on the rating page is cold as hell. And I quote, "You were using the program for 3 months. You purchased the program using a third-party finance company in which you have contractual obligations to make payments. We did not make this decision for you." God damn. Getting back to Clayton's post, he tells them they must attend these Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time meetings. Zoom meetings. Yeah, bro, that's church. Man said if you're not willing to attend, go back to your weak ass life. This group is not for you. If you think I'm exaggerating by comparing it to church, I'm absolutely not. His very next message told them to spend an hour a day going through mindset training videos. An hour a day. This is literally what church is. The only reason you're expected to come back every Sunday is because the constant repetition of religious messages is required for you to keep believing a person was born to a virgin. Don't get mad at me, I'm right. MLMs and Ponzi schemes and direct sales groups like this one steal their techniques from church on purpose. More caps, this time saying there can't be any negativity in the group. This is called a thought terminating rule, and it's used in MLMs all the time. Constructive criticism or valid complaints all get grouped together as negativity, and only His Holiness Clayton and his fellow grifters get to decide how that's defined. Even more yelling about how you can become debt-free within 10 years, as if that's somehow unattainable by your damn self. And then how to buy crypto. He tells you to use YouTube University to figure out how to buy crypto, and then recommends a couple more apps that highlight just how convoluted this scheme really is. Private Telegram group, which is another scammer red flag, and then rules about how to join. Nothing that makes you money should ever be this complicated and this aggressive. Just managing all these steps and processes would be a full-time job. And that's the point. If they made it simple, the average person would be disengaged. This way, they weed out the people who have experienced something like this before or who don't have time for this shit. And everybody who's left will do just about anything to make it work. Add all that religious seasoning on top of it and nobody stands a chance. envySocial is a scam. Tell your parents, grandparents, whoever, to put the laptop down and go sit on the porch. Symone B Tech isn't a scammer. At least not right now. Symone? Symone. We're gonna go with Symone. It didn't take me long to decide that. It was pretty obvious.
This isn't theory. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is the actual formula I use to go from broke to building a 7-figure net worth in less than 10 years.
Symone doesn't push people to all kinds of side groups and private chats. They're very upfront about their offerings and services on YouTube. No convoluted telegrams, just a Discord. People can scam in Discord, but it's not their preferred method. No sales funnel to surprise you with a huge upsell at the end. Just free training and paid coaching advertised openly on each video. Am I recommending you work with this person? Absolutely not. Let me be crystal clear on that. I'm just using this example to highlight the differences between a scammer / grifter and someone with a side hustle.
There's no reason why you shouldn't be a millionaire after 10 to 15 years working in tech. So if you want to know how to actually build wealth with your tech career, this video is for you.
Per this intro video on their channel, they're still working in tech themselves, and you can find evidence of that on their LinkedIn. They worked for big companies like Raytheon. Those kinds of, breadcrumbs and pieces of evidence tend to lend credence to the claims they make. Look at the promises someone's thumbnails are making, and then ask yourself if those promises make sense. They help this person make $77K in a network administrator role. They help this person get a salary increase of like $35K. These are normal ass salaries for normal ass jobs. Is Symone actually a millionaire by 30 years old? I don't know. Probably not. The money spread and vacation pics aren't typically a good sign that someone's actually rich. Either way, this is exaggeration at worst. Many finance YouTubers do that, and even though I don't even watch those videos, like I don't care about that niche, it has zero appeal to me. It is part of the trick of the trade on YouTube, and I'm not saying lying isn't bad, but it doesn't add up to a grift or a scam. You need more evidence to prove that. What I see here is someone trying to supplement their income by making content, building a YouTube channel on the side. And I do emphasize trying, because there's not even enough views here to add up to a successful YouTube career, at least not one that you can do full time. That's not a knock on Symone either. Everybody has a journey to get to their destination, whatever that ends up being. But there's just a hard fact about how many views per video you tend to need to make this a job, and I would know. I'm sure the persistence is paying off in coaching clients, and that's probably the goal. Shout out to Maria and Terrez for the suggestions. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for the patience. I hope this made y'all happy. Shout out to my Patreon supporters and channel members. I literally wouldn't be doing this anymore if it wasn't for y'all. You know, it has ups and downs, and it's hard to stay encouraged sometimes. Major love to my detectives tier on Patreon. I can't thank y'all enough. Michael Kritz, L, Sean Hoxie, Peter Healy, Christian Hain. Y'all some real ones. Stay healthy.